Brothers and sisters, once again, we here, Injury to One. You know what I'm saying? I'm your host, Dezo, but you know how that could change or anything like that. I got two of some of my respected members from Local 10. Can you introduce yourself and your plug?
My name is Frank Gaskin. My registration number is 9718.
I'm Emily Turnbull. My registration number is 9973.
Let's go. I just want to tell y'all, I appreciate y'all. I look up to the people that's in the union, and I really am glad that y'all came here to sit down because this to me is educational, it's inspirational, it's all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's 70 or so locals in the ILWU, and we are open to all of y'all. Come sit down, have this conversation, sit your tools down, and we gonna talk. So I'm gonna ask you, Miss Emily, why did you want to become a member of the ILWU?
Well, I'd read a lot about the history of the labor movement. I was a librarian, actually, studying a lot of labor history before I came in. I didn't think I'd ever get in, but I knew that the ILWU had a reputation as one of the most militant unions. And I knew that it was formed out of a major strike in 1934. It was one of three major strikes that year, including the Teamsters in Minneapolis and the auto parts in Toledo, that led the organizing, the massive organizing campaigns that created the Congress of Industrial Organizations. And I found out about the line that you had to go into in 1999 to go stand. I was in that line. Okay. Somebody lived in my complex told me about it. I went down and stood in that line, along with thousands of other people. I think my husband also stood in that line, but he had to leave because he was being sent out of town for work, so he didn't get called. Oh. But I stood in that line, and I didn't think I was going to get it, and all of a sudden I got the letter in 2003, and I answered it. I was about to go to graduate school, actually, in library science, and I decided the benefits, whenever I wanted to be a longshoreman. And it was the best decision, one of the best decisions I ever made, to come down here.
I like that story. What about you, Mr. Frank? Let me ask you this, okay? Because let me just say this one thing, sidebar, y'all. When I came to the orientation, you said your name, but you said they call me Bullethead. So do you mind if I just say Mr. Bullethead or something like that?
That's okay with me.
It's all good, brother. Good. Go ahead. Why did you want to become a member of the ILWU?
As a kid, my dad would come home and tell the stories about the guys at work, drinking, stealing, fighting, going to work, coming home in a couple hours and going back to work again. And it was fun to hear the stories. And me and my brother would wait up at night. My dad was on the night shift for him to come home, and we'd hear he'd bring us stuff that they got off the ship back in the days. So something, oh yeah, that's what I want to do.
Right.
So I remember when I was in like fourth grade, we moved to Sonoma from San Francisco, and they asked us, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a longshoreman. Well, I didn't know at the time, but there was already 3 or 4 families I went to school with were longshoremen.
Oh, okay.
And no one in my class knew what a longshoreman was. That explained basically, as I tell people today, longshoreman loads and unloads the ship, regardless of what the commodity is. 88, they opened up San Francisco. It hadn't been opened up since '69. That's when my dad got his book. So almost 20 years later, I filled out this big application paperwork. I never heard nothing back from it. But in my right mind of mine, I wasn't ready for it, the things I was doing out there. Okay. I would have never able to maintain that job. So 96 comes around, I signed up again. Never heard nothing about it. And then in 99, I finally get a number. We all go down to, I think it was Golden Gate in San Francisco, unemployment office. And my dad was already in line. There's probably 6 people in line already. That was with our group. Right. So we fill out the card, and months go by, and I finally get a number. And I was mad. My number was 5611, I believe my number was, out of 7,000 people.
Dang.
And my dad would say, oh, don't worry about it. there's 2,000 people after you.
Right.
No, it's the people in front of me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that bothered me again. It was like 3 or 4 times I tried to get in, and no, it was always a bad spot. I was in, or didn't get a number or call or nothing. And then about 3 years later, a little less than 3 years later, my dad passed away.
Oh, sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And I ended up coming on my dad's book. And it was hard because it was almost 6 months, like 5.5 months to be exact. It took for me to fill out the referral to get approved, go through the orientation, go through the physical. And I finally, my dad passed away on January 30th, I believe it was, 2002. And I got my B registration July 13th, 2002. So it was almost like roughly 5.5 months. So I was mad about that. But I get in, and I had another job. I continued working another job for like 9 months. And I got to feel the traveling bit of it, how to make money, because at that time, San Francisco was slow for B-Man.
Okay.
LA was getting, the ID casual was getting like 5 days a week. We were lucky to get 2 days a week.
Right.
So I just started traveling. I learned the system, learned how to get work, how to keep myself getting hours. And then I gave up my other job, and I've been nonstop ever since. Just enjoying the best job. I call it the best job in the world. I love it.
My dad too.
That's the best job in the world.
My dad too. Y'all, total transparency. My dad's very fond of this man right here. You know what I'm saying? I guess he bugged him the whole damn 6 years it took for me to get in. He like, Frank told me, hey man, and my number was 2823 or something like that. And so, yes, I didn't get in till almost 4,000. I'm 3815, but I'm like, wow, I waited a long time. So from 2017 to 23. So like 6 years. But hey, man, I'm in here, and I'm trying to go up, man. I appreciate everybody that came before me. All these prestigious people to me. I mean, because to me, like the names that I hear, you know, especially in my community, that have been elevated in president, and this, been that, something that's big in the organization that the rest of the world probably don't even see. You know, out here is very much of a struggle, but if you get into this organization, there's places that we can go, and positions that people can aspire to be in, it's there for you. So that's why I do appreciate the ILWU. My pops, I say this all the time, man, my pops kept me there. I've been to Bloody Thursdays before when I didn't know what a Bloody Thursday was. Harry Bridges, hearing them names, you know what I'm saying? Just hearing the names, the international and all kind of stuff, just hearing the names is like, man, bro, I feel something now that I'm in there. So I really appreciate y'all for coming. So y'all ready for these questions, huh?
Yes, sir. And thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you, Dezo. And shout out to your dad, because he was one of the amen when I came in that I learned a lot from. And it's an ex-Panther too. Yes. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the industry and about life in the Bay Area from your dad. And I appreciated him very much.
Pop, see that? Man, some people like, man, hey man, this is a brotherhood. It doesn't matter like sisterhood, doesn't matter like colors or none of that to me. Like, we all in the hall, we all like the casuals, we all, you know, we going through the same struggle. The people that I seen getting elevated, they went through the struggle, now they getting elevated, and that's a good thing to see. I've been here for 2 years before I seen that. So I know it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just, man, it's cool. So, y'all, okay. So looking back at your time as a longshoreman and as a member of Local 10, can you name a struggle moment that fundamentally shaped your understanding of solidarity?
I can answer that. Frank, you came in 2002, so you lived through the lockout.
Yes.
Lockout was still very fresh in people's mind when I came in 2003. And I know that the sense of solidarity and collective action and our strength that we stood up, even though the company locked us out. But in the end, they had to the PMA replaced their leadership. And we stood strong, the union stood strong on the picket lines. And there was a sense that we'd really won something of solidarity that you could feel among the membership. I think that's been eroded a lot since I've been in the industry. I think that now, especially the tier system, has brought forth a whole dog-eat-dog sense of, you make your deal with the walking boss, you make your deal, then you try to get your little bit, and the sense that the union, that all we have is our collective strength as a union. Has been eroded significantly. And I think that the tier system contributes to that. But especially in 2002, the government threatened to use the National Guard, the military, to break against the union. Because they were about to go to the Iraq War. And they thought the shipping industry was important enough to go. So they threatened the union. And with Trump in power now, and his use of the military in cities, he's threatened to send it into Oakland. We've got to brace and prepare ourselves for what's going to happen under Trump. And I think the unions, so I really think it's crucial and important that we fight now to strengthen the union, strengthen our collective strength, because all we have to defend ourselves against the onslaught working people have is the unions and the fighting together, collectively. And so that's the most important thing to me. I mean, I have a whole number of poems, but I'll let Frank talk a little bit here, because he was here in 2002. I came just after. So I followed it very closely in the news.
I will add something to that. What bothered me about that is it was put out there that we were on strike. And to this day, people still think we were on strike. We weren't on strike. We got locked out. We got locked out. I know some of the ships, they purposely left the lids on the dock so they couldn't let the ship go. That kind of stuff was great when I was around. That was some stuff we're talking about. But to your question, the two things that really hit me is no matter who you are, like you were talking about, color, race, whatever, ethnicity, whatever it may be, somebody gets hurt on the job. We've had members jump in the water to help get the people out of the water. When people get hurt, they're there. No matter who you are, what you've done, good or bad, a union brother stands up for another union brother or sister. That's the solidarity that I see and I love about this place. The other one is if someone gets fired or something gets treated wrong, I've been through a lot of terminals where not just the terminal that happened, but all the terminals in the Bay Area would stand down in solidarity for that cause, that person dying or whatever it may be. And
but that doesn't happen that much anymore.
But for my answer, that's the biggest thing that I see, the unionism from our members, Local 10. Other locals don't do the things we do. It's just we stand down for our members.
I think that when you think about like solidarity and stuff, I think that sometimes brothers and sisters, they don't always get along, and I mean in like a nuclear family. You know what I'm saying? They don't always get along, but it's like when other people try to come mess with them, they stand together again. So that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we probably have gone astray a little or whatever, but I feel like this is the type of thing that can, when they see us, they can bring us together. I know that we have a guy in LA, Crane Daddy. I looked up his stuff. I be trying to like give him shouts out and show him the show and stuff, like because I feel like we need to get it together. So it was another show that was in Canada. I think they called Dockers or something, right? They only had a couple of shows, but I've been trying. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that we have to stand together when it's time for our negotiations. When it's time, go ahead.
Is Crane Daddy the one that the cab fell from the crane when he was loading and unloading the ship?
Oh, I've seen, no, I don't know if that was him, but I seen that. It's on his page. It's like a short on his page. Yeah.
He was driving a crane and the
cab
him. Fell down. He's lucky he was like 7 high or 8 high. It wasn't that far. But I believe he's the one that was in that cab when it fell. The crane cab.
That's crazy. Shout out to Crane Daddy though. Yeah, man. I'll be hitting you up, man. Look at us. Okay. So you guys, this is the next question. So now, considering the changes that you witnessed in the whole maritime industry, right? Like everybody think we merchant seamen for some reason. I don't know, but I don't know that business, but I know that it's a part of our industry. It's maritime, right? So considering the changes that you've seen in the whole maritime industry, what are some of the biggest challenges that you think Local 10 are going to encounter in the next generation, and some of the things that longshoremen are going to face in the next negotiation?
Well, a lot of my brothers and sisters don't know this, but in 1934, when we won the strike and established the union, it wasn't only longshoremen who were out.
Okay.
Every union on the waterfront went out, including the sailors, including the Teamsters who wanted our picket lines. Mm. And that unity across industries was key to winning that strike. Mm. Also, I think what people don't understand, they think now, and a lot of the leadership thinks, that it's a partnership with the bosses and that we're in partnership and we can make deals.
Okay.
But in fact, what that strike proved, and all the strikes in 36, in 48, in 1971, is it's a class struggle. That there's always a battle between the bosses who want their profits and the worst conditions and the worst wages for us, and we fighting for the better wages and working conditions. Everybody. That's what we mean by class struggle.
Okay.
So I think the problem that the union faces is we have a leadership that believes in partnership with the bosses rather than understanding that all working people have is their collective strength and their collective solidarity. And that's what we proved in 34 when we went out. That's why the last guiding principle, I think number 10 of the ILWU, is jurisdictional disputes are poison and have no place in the labor movement.
Okay.
And so I think that the challenge really that we face, one of the main ones being automation, requires not only a leadership that understands that, but that understands that, what the answer is to automation is better conditions and shorter work time for longshoremen. We should get the demand of 1934 was a 6-hour day. Okay. We won a 6-hour day in 1934. Longshoremen now sometimes work 12 hours. They think that working so hard and getting so much money benefits them. It doesn't. I don't know how many funerals I've been down to. Good brothers and sisters who die early before they even get their pension because their bodies have been destroyed on the equipment, and the heavy equipment does destroy your body. I think the union has to fight for shorter work shifts that we get the benefit from automation. Okay. I think the problem was Harry Bridges. There's a lot of analogies now between what the union is doing and what Harry Bridges did with the M&M agreement when containerization came in. Mm-hmm. But Bridges sold out the union by allowing the companies to start the B-man. There were no tiers in the union before 1959. And so he started the tiers, and he let the number of longshoremen decrease by 2/3 between 1970 and 1980, I believe. And the PMA was allowed to change all the work rules so that the people who worked in the hold, who happened to be the newbiemen, had no guarantees. They had no more 4 on 4 off, no more, and they bore the brunt of it. And so I think that what our leadership now is saying is that the answer to automation is mechanics jobs. And the new agreement that they've made on mechanics jobs, it allows the PMA increasingly to bypass the hall. And so it's weakening the union. And in fact, what we should be doing, as the mission statement of the Committee to End Tier Segregation, which I have founded, says fighting for shorter work shifts and fighting to make the union represent all longshoremen by starting to organize the unorganized, first by bringing the Bs and the casuals into the union so that they have a vote. And what other union in the country keeps people out of the union, co-workers out of the union for years, which is what the ILWU does. They have no vote. They have no right to representation, the Bs and the casuals, and I think that's wrong. And I think we should start to strengthen the union by bringing all longshoremen into the union. That's why I helped found the Committee to End Tier Segregation. Their mission statement is to bring everybody into the union, to fight for big wage increases, so no one has to take a pay cut, and end the steady system, and fight for shorter work shifts, and to respect seniority so that your access to boards and training be by seniority.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things the union has to ways to strengthen the union and the challenges it faces.
So during negotiations, the Coast Safety Committee was done prior to the big table, PCLCD being done. So we got to sit in during the big contract, big table, we call it. And a lot of the items that they were going after us got kicked down the road for the next contract negotiations. They didn't want to give us any back pay. We would have got, there was things that they were said across the room that we didn't like. And I'm not going to get too much in detail, but Local 10, as militant we've always been, we went fishing for a few days and came back to work. And then the next day, we were back in negotiations. And then we were at a point where we had to sign the agreement, take it to the membership, or they were going to come lock us out again. And we didn't know this. We found out about it afterwards. But we got the retro pay. We got the increases. What some of the stuff we got, people don't see is the pensioners and the widowers who died years ago. They're not making any money. They got their money increased. We had 3 people at the table whose mom was living off their dad's pension. It's only like 75% of the pension. The widows don't get that much. And it was a low, but they retired in, like, let's say 1990. We were probably making $15 an hour or whatever. I'm just saying, for example, now we're making $56 an hour. We just got a $2 raise, whatever the actual dollar figure is.
Right.
They weren't making nothing. You know, the cost of living. So we helped bring their money up, which is great. But like she spoke, I was going to speak on this too, the automation part. I've been in the LA terminals where we're on top of the crane and they put 2 boxes down, one at a time. The crane driver will pick them both up, put them up on this leg, whatever they call it. And there's people working on it and they're putting the cones on it. The crane driver will pick up 2 40-foot boxes or 4 20-foot containers. It's some platform they got, and it's coming. There's 3 terminals I believe are fully automated in LA, and they've lost a ton of work down there. Their membership ain't working. they're making rewards off of us. San Francisco and Oakland's going to happen. I hope it doesn't happen till after this next contract, but they're thinking about talking about tray pack, outer harbor area being automation. It's coming. We have to stop it. We have to get what we can from it. The mechanics, technicians they got. What about the regular longshoremen?
Right.
Where are we going to go?
Yeah.
And we got bulk freight, we got cars, we got passenger ship, but the future of the longshoremen, East Coast, West Coast, everybody, to me, is scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's the greatest job anyone can ever have in the world is coming to a slow end.
Mm.
We got to be ready and prepare for that in our future.
I just want to say, I heard David Arian, an ex-president of the union, give a whole presentation on automation at one of the Coast Caucuses I attended. And he made, I think, a really important point, which is it's very, very expensive to fully automate terminals, and it requires shutting down part of the terminal for a time, so giving up business in order to do it. And LA is massively bigger than
right
here. They have the throughput of containers to merit fully automated.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some terminals.
They just broke the record for the most containers.
July was the most containers ever in LA, but that's what they were saying. But smaller boats, they're like, that don't unload and load whole ships, it's really prohibitively expensive to do that kind of automation. And so I think that, not that there's not a threat there, and I think we should be fighting for, but I think it's easy to overstate what will happen, because it takes years and millions of dollars to automate a terminal.
So I know that during the pandemic, the shipping companies made hella money. So I feel like they probably could if they wanted to out here. But I will say, like, Brother Newt, shout out to him. He said us is the key. Like, and I feel that, like, us getting back together, us getting the people that we gonna be there fighting for this. And that's how I feel like we can overcome those negotiations, because of the manpower, because of the things that the union was founded on, the 10 principles and all that. And I know that a lot of things, like when you do say stuff like 1934, 70 and stuff like that, people feel like that was a long time ago and the world was very different then. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we need the people to fight for what's going on in the future. The only place that I've worked at that has automation is in Crockett. I worked at the CNH before, and they have autonomous vehicles.
Yes.
That took out jobs from longshoremen, because we are the ones that offload that sugar and stuff, and we drive the sugar to them and let them do their processes and all that. So to me, that was a bad thing, but then they did have to hire technicians to fix how those machines ran. So I do understand when you say you don't feel like it's going to be the mechanics and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that is a way, but more so to me is like more technical, like more computerized type of stuff. It's probably not going to be you having to actually turn a wrench as a mechanic. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be you probably having to press this button or that button to.
Let me give an example on that. The cars nowadays, they plug under your dash. They can plug it in and it tells you exactly what's wrong with the car.
Right, yes.
So that's what they need.
Diagnostic type stuff.
The mechanic's going to fix it once the technician tells them. I'm just giving an example. The technician will tell them what's wrong with it, and now I need a mechanic to fix it.
So that's why I feel like those are the things we need to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? More of that type of training, so we won't be left behind. Because that's a lot of people.
Well, my thing is with automation is, and I don't care if people agree or disagree with this, but You get hired to do a job. You go do that job. Come back when you're supposed to come back. Be there, take care of the job, and the skill comes out, take the skill. There won't be no reason. We're giving them the reason to do a form of outsourcing for automation because we don't take care of the job all the time. And if you take care of the job will take care of you. I've always said that. You know, the machine doesn't go on coffee breaks, doesn't get sick, doesn't get injured. You know, we're there. We're a labor to get hired to take care of the job. And if we're not taking care of the job, a lot of times the shipping companies don't want to come to the San Francisco local 10 Bay Area because we always have job actions or we don't fill the jobs. And if we don't fill the jobs on one or two gangs, it puts their schedule behind. And they look at it like, why do I want to come there? They're never getting their work done on a timely fashion. So sometimes we're our own enemy of labor because we're not doing the job we're supposed to be doing.
Let me give a little different view of that.
Good.
Since I've even been down here, used to be when I came, we were still doing break bulk some then, and I did break bulk at Pier 80. But on the container ships, the old timers would say 180 moves, and we're done. No more than 180 moves a shift. We're doing 280.
By lunch.
Now, at some time. There's been massive speed up, which the union has gone along with, which the union, our whole, with containerization, the backbone of the union before containerization was the stewards. Each gang elected a steward. They were responsible for safety on the job. The Stewards Council met twice a month. They were all elected stewards, and they went out and they enforced safety, and they enforced against speed up. And we don't have a Stewards Council really anymore. They're not, even Trent had there was a reform in I think 2017 that we began electing stewards from the boards. But those stewards don't even go to Stewards Council. The union is not present on the job to defend the interests of their members on an ongoing basis to make sure to fight against speed up.
So that's not.
And the business agent can't be everywhere. It's not just the business agent.
Okay.
We need elected stewards out on the job that enforce safety and fight speed up. And because we don't have them, because the union and the leadership too often blames the membership for what's in fact a leadership problem. And that's why, you know, I've gotten so mad about this. That's why I ran for executive board and ran for president. Because we need to fight. There's a whole series of things we need to fight to make the union real on the job. But instead of doing that, our leadership, like the rest, like the international leadership, says all we can do is every 4 years, I get a glossy brochure from the international. It tells me what Democrats to vote for. And that there's all that we can do is hope for there to be a better, you know, Democrat in office that'll do something good for us. But the Democrats are just like the Republicans. I mean, they act in the interest of the bosses. And what I fought for since I came into the union is a workers' party. That we need to fight for a workers' party.
This is clarification, what you're saying. When you refer to bosses, you're referring to the companies, not Local 91 bosses.
Correct.
Okay, because a couple of times you refer to the bosses. In our union, we have Local 91 or boss union, walking boss and foreman union. That's separate from the company. So that's why.
Okay. Yes. No. I'm referring to the PMA. I'm referring to the PMA.
Shout out to Clay. We had one on last week.
Yeah. Well, except that I want to say this about. I think the walking bosses originally walking bosses were the representative of the union against the superintendents. Okay. That's increasingly been eroded. The walking bosses have been bribed and given more and more money and whatever. I mean, so that they half of them think they're company men now. I think the walking bosses should come back to Local 10. We shouldn't have a separate union, and that there should be a walking boss board out of Local 10, and that all the walking boss, because then they know they're union men and not company men. I think that understanding's been eroded.
And then one more thing on that real quick. You don't have to be elected as a shop steward to be a steward on the job. Anybody can be a steward on the job.
Right.
Me, when I come out of office, if I see something going on wrong, I'm gonna say something.
Right.
Because it's happening in front of me. Well, Frank used to be the business agent, or Frank used to be the secretary. Like, no, this is what's happening. I let people know you can't be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You're going against everything we fought for.
Right.
So anybody's a voice on the job, regardless of your ID, B, or A.
Yeah, my dad.
Anybody can say anything. Anybody can make an issue. Let the boss know that's wrong or that's right. In health and safety, if something's not right, you tell the boss.
Safety.
The foreman, not the company. You tell the foreman this is not safe. If there's a battle between you and the foreman, then you call your business agent. I'm stopping by on health and safety. That's something in the safety book gives you the green light to stand by, but no one does that.
Well, I remember, Frank, actually, this is when I was still, I think, a B-man. They fired one of the signalmen on the crane I was on. And I tried to get everybody to stand down to wait for the BA to come. Because we should stand down and defend the brother until, they want to fire him. And I called you, complained because I couldn't get people to stand down. And you told me, oh, Emily, those days are long gone when we stood by when a member was fired on the job. And they are long gone.
I don't think
it's a small.
Times a member stood by and I said, that's great.
I've had members stood by for me when I was accused of an accident. They tried to fire me. And I was defended. The walking boss defended me. I've had that happen too. So, but that needs to be organized, and people have to know the union has their back.
Right.
And too often now people think they're scared. They don't think the union has their back. Even if I go around and tell people, for example, someone died on the job, we stand down. Right? No, we can't do it till the walking boss tells us. People are scared because that sense of solidarity and of the union acting collectively on the job together has been so eroded. And that's what needs to be rebuilt.
Well,
and it needs to be rebuilt with the understanding that that's all we got. And we're not in partnership with the bosses.
This thing right here, in my opinion, this thing is going to at least let people know that that's what we're trying to do. We are all the negative stuff that anybody could say about this, whatever. People have to come together to fight against the bosses, to fight against the shipper. We have to come together as a whole. So that's why this, to me, is so important. And it doesn't matter if you're a part of the international or any of the locals, we all have to be on one accord together to fight against them, or we're gonna lose the stuff that we have.
Right.
And we're not gonna gain anything new if we're not together. So this is exactly the reason, and I so much appreciate y'all for coming. This is exactly the reason why we're doing this. So, with all that being said, right, beyond the tangible benefits, so beyond the money, your pension, all that stuff, y'all, however long y'all gonna be still going or whatever, beyond all that, overlooking your whole career, can you name something about Local 10 that has positively impacted your life and the lives of your fellow longshoremen and even your families? Because we have the widowers, right? So their families too. And y'all could come too, like anybody, but yeah, something positive.
For me, Local 10's given me the opportunity to be an official, run for different positions.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me a home. I bought my house when I was a Class B member.
Wow.
November 2003. Next year, maybe another year and a half, the house will be paid off.
Wow.
My kids both had the opportunity to go to college. Whatever they wanted to do, we had money put away for them.
Mm.
My daughter went to college until the COVID hit. She had to come back home.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped going. My son didn't want to follow that career path. But I know a lot of our Local 10 members' family are going to school, teachers, doctors, psychologists, whatever. It's given opportunity for the next generation of our kids to become longshoremen or go to school and get a degree. It's given that opportunity that you couldn't get nowhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In 35 years, I came a long way. I was doing things out there I shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
Now I'm enjoying the best life I could have had for me and my family. So I'm really grateful for local and getting the opportunity. Very grateful. Harry Bridges had a future. He's seen a future for us.
Right.
He had a vision. The word I'm looking for is vision.
Yeah.
Harry Bridges all over my house on the wall, pictures. Very proud and happy to be at ILWU Local 10 member.
Me too.
Well, I think this, for me, the struggle is doesn't stop at the union. There's a struggle to change society for the better. You know, I'm a socialist.
Okay.
I'm a communist. I think the two things are the same thing to me.
Okay.
I think what Local 10 has given me is a chance to mobilize the social power that we have as workers in defense of Black rights, in defense of the struggle to fight for a better society like workers. For example, the latest is Terry Lovett, who is a former sister from Local 6,
okay,
whose son was found dead in custody in the LA men's jail. And she came to Local 10 to ask for a donation to get an independent autopsy for her son, which we gave money. She subsequently went to Local 34 as well and got money. She's going to be speaking at the Local 10 union meeting this coming Thursday.
okay.
She's also having a rally for justice for her son outside of Rob. We wrote a letter to Rob Bonta's office demanding that he open the archives and reveal all the information about her son's death.
Okay.
And she's having a rally outside of Rob Bonta's office at 11:30 on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the 17th. She's doing it at 11:30 partly because she wants to get longshoremen to come from the port during their lunchtime. And of the nighttime, people come too. So I'd urge people to come. Because Local 10 has been on record, for example, as we wrote letters to all the city councils, a lot of city councils in the Bay Area, demanding that the police archives be open. And that the 100 worst cases of police violence be revealed. And I'm working with the Open the Police Archives campaign. And that I think really the importance is to get the labor movement and the social power of labor behind that. And I think it's not just Black workers who have an interest in that because they're the victims, but all working people, and white people in additionally have the interest in fighting for Black liberation because they keep Black people on the bottom to keep all of us down and the floor down. So I think, like when I ran for president of the union, I guess one of my demands was the fight for Black liberation. But the power that can bring that about lies in working people. And they keep us divided in order to keep the capitalist system. And we need to overcome that. So that's what I've been most grateful about for Local 10 is the chance to make that real.
Having a platform.
Having also with my brothers and sisters.
Right.
To mobilize that power, at least in embryo, to fight for opening the police archives. I fought for years. I used to sell tickets to raise money for Mumia Abu-Jamal and other class war prisoners who are in jail for having fought for causes and cases of working people.
Right.
Hugo Pinell, whatever. And I used to sell a lot. And every year there's a holiday appeal. And I used to sell tickets to raise money, and a number of co-workers have come to that. So I've always fought for that. But that linking that struggle to the power organized labor has is what I'm most grateful for in my time in the ILWU Local 10.
I think that's pretty cool because even going back to the first thing, like why you want to be a part of it, is like us together, us people that's from different backgrounds, from different ethnicity, different race, different religions, all that can come together out there. And I don't want to see none of y'all not go home. No matter what you believe in. I'm your brother. I'm got your back for sure. And that, to me, is in me, and that is in some people that I know that we're coming in here now, and I feel like it's gonna change. It's not gonna be whatever. I actually love this union, and it's because of my dad. You know what I'm saying? The people that I look up to in the union, it's because of him. And that, to me, is what I can take right now. I don't have any longevity in it. I've been here for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any longevity to speak of, but I have it from him. I have the respect for you guys from him. You know what I'm saying? I have the know-how of stuff that goes on in the union from him. And so that's what makes me feel this way about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did this on my own. It's not something that the union sponsors or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I did this on my own because I think that y'all's stories are important. I think that what you have to say is important. I think that what we got coming up is very important. And speaking of the negotiations and stuff, and I think that us being together is important. So y'all don't know how happy y'all made me for coming. I appreciate y'all time. You know what I'm saying?
A big shout out to you.
Go ahead. This y'all show too. So
you got me thinking about something. As a kid, my dad's friends who hung out with, who went to the Coordinator playoff games together and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I finally came in, I didn't get the opportunity to be with my dad. My dad
right.
passed away.
Yes.
But when you're talking about your father, it reminded me when I came in, I got to work with my dad's friends who are still around. And, and I've done some crazy stuff with some of those guys, but it's funny you say that because even though I didn't get the opportunity to be with my dad, like you get the opportunity to be down there, going over the memories and the stories with his friends, some of his friends that I knew as a kid ended up being my instructor for the equipment.
Right, yeah.
And it's kind of like, here's a good one, is Norm McLeod trained me to drive tractor. I ended up becoming a tractor instructor, and I trained his son. So it comes back around.
Yeah.
And that's what you got me thinking, the camaraderie, the love we have for each other.
For real.
You got me all.
It's all good.
But I want to give you a big shout out too. I remember you came up to me in the hall. I didn't know you. I didn't know your dad. You came up to me in the hall one day and said, "Gee, is it true that A-men can double in front of B-men?" And I said, "Yeah, unfortunately that's true." And you thought that was really a bad thing because it takes jobs away from B-men. It means casuals can't get promoted because as long as B-men are getting PGP, they won't promote anybody. And that's the kind of divisions within the workforce that the tier system creates. And I was appreciative of you, and I learned out who your dad was, and that was for making that point to me. And I've fought a long time. I think it's really wrong, for example, that A's can double in front of B's and take jobs away. Unfortunately, a lot of A's have built a lifestyle around that, but I think it's just one more example of why the tier system is eating away at the fabric of the union, and that we need to bring everybody in and fight to represent all longshoremen as equals. And you saw that when you came up to me in the hall and said that. I appreciated you for that.
In the Stewart Council meeting. So, and then when I came on your Zoom and we talked to a brother from Spokane or something. No,
from Seattle. It was Leaf. Yeah, he's a member of the committee.
And we and he told us how they do it, and I thought that was
they don't let it happen. Yeah.
At least it was, but that's the type of thing that I'm saying here is like this thing of humanizing each other, of making us for real be more human to the members, and we can get behind what each other's ideas. We don't always have to agree on everything, but we have to agree on something. And all these ideas are to make it better for everybody.
Yeah, and that's what the union's for. The meetings are for, to debate them, and we should be debating them as brothers and sisters.
And and so with that being said, in that whole thing is like us, no matter what, us. It always come back to us. You may not agree with whatever, but you got to come back to me because I'm your brother and I'm here with you, and I'm standing by you, and that's for real, and that's how I feel. I understand, we all have different things we've been through, different whatevers, but at the end of the day, it's really us against them, which is the employers, right?
Yes,
so
against the employers.
No matter what it is that we think, we have to come back and sit at the table with each other, the big table or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We got to sit at the table with each other. So that's why I think that this here is very important. I appreciate the shit. Excuse my language, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.
We were longshoremen. That's longshoreman talk.
Y'all so much. So, brothers and sisters, y'all gotta come, sit down, put your tools on the table. This is not bad. This is something to put us together. And whether you have different ideas about whatever, we can talk about them, get them out there, because at the end of the day, it's to make us better. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all for coming. And until next time, this is Entry to One, man.
No. Thank you, Dezo.
I appreciate y'all.
Brothers and sisters, remember to stay safe out there, because an injury to one is an injury to all.